Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Saturday Smackdown for the week 13th of September 2014. This video is game number 5 in the best of 7 series played between Aizamk and Mitoe for this event. Again, it will be casted by ZutaZuta and myself, so if you're perhaps new to this series and aren't quite sure what's going on, then I would recommend watching the introduction to game number 1 in this series, where I do explain everything in full. So let's get right into it. I'm now going to turn the scoreboard on, so if you do not want to know the results of this series so far, then close this video now. Aside from that, enjoy the video.
But I think we are ready to resume this. Mitoe has returned from the WC, indeed. So, for the benefit of the people in the VOD, let's begin this entirely again. We have Aztec versus Portuguese on the map New England. And I'll most likely edit all of the pre-meta game talk that we had into the VOD, so there's no need for that. But in the south of the map, in the colour teal, indeed spawning in the same location as the previous game, we have Mitoe, starting this time with a 300 wood start. In the previous game we did have 200, of course that's not relevant anymore, but this means that he can, as you mentioned in the previous game, Zuta, go for a fire pit, market, and house, so he can get his hunting dogs. Is there a nice 50 coin treasure nearby? What the hell is going on? That villager's getting, like, gang-piled by these pirates. What is this? It's like...
I smell another restart coming.
This is ridiculous.
Wow.
Is he just trying to convert a buccaneer and it's just resulted in his what? Like they they decided they've not seen a
that was unfortunate. Mito's start. Oh, it's still fighting.
Is it died? Has it died? No, is it still attacking? Why are they aggressive? Why has this game not been fixed? What is going on? Oh, that's...
we have to restart again.
That's going in the VOD hilarious. Because it was hilarious. Okay. Right, let's head on out. Okay. Third time lucky, ladies and gentlemen. Let's play this game.
Everyone.
Why do you know why like Treasure Guardians do that? They just aggro like the
they
sometimes
aggro the closest thing, right?
Yeah.
So the villager that was walking over their herd was the closest thing.
So he just goes, "Oh, you're the one causing me all this pain. Okay. Come here." Third time lucky. We have Aztec versus Portuguese.
On New England.
New England.
Take 3.
Take 3, indeed. Starting in the south of the map, in the colour teal for the third time, we have here Aztec. This is Mitoe. And he's starting this time with 2 wood crates and a coin crate. So actually, you know, getting the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 crate start or whatever it is, but actually not having, having coin instead of wood is the important thing here. And that's not so good. It means, as you may have picked up from the last 2 games with people in the stream here, he's only going to be able to go for a war pit, good lord, a fire pit, and a house. So there's that. But in the north of the map, in the colour blue, playing as the Portuguese here, we have Aizamk. Of course, starting with coin as well. Only 100 wood there. Actually opting to leave both crates on the floor. What is going on here? Another super aggressive port build, I think.
It's he just loves to do this style.
Yeah, and eating that sheep just for the food, like.
Yeah.
This is a good map to do it on. You've got extra food.
It is. You can abuse this choke that is present on New England. Either choke, really. I mean, either the one that's on your side of the map or the one that's on your opponent's side of the map. Fully expect him to try and, put his TC in the one on the other side of the map. And then just go from there. It's definitely something that's very strong to do. And expect him to see it.
I'm surprised that his Portuguese explorer has only really picked up the starting... my apologies. Starting crates... treasures rather near his base. He's not really looking for anything substantial. Obviously you've got these big, not big, but medium-sized treasures that are easy to get, like 60 food in his base. How come he hasn't gone for that? What's he looking for here? Is he going for scouting information? Does he want to be aggressive? Does he want to know what he needs to do?
He's not heading to say, yeah, I don't know. That food treasure might be just out of line of sight. No, it should be in line of sight. I mean, just in general on this map, kind of like Yukon, the good treasures, the quote good treasures, almost always, well, nearly always spawn on the left-hand side of this map. So he could have just run over there just hoping he could find something, like 90 food or 60 wood. I think there is a 60 wood spawn. I think I spotted that. Yeah, over here
Yeah,
up
there
on
is, yeah.
the top. So could have been looking for something like that, but yeah, I don't know. I certainly would take a 60 food treasure. I mean, obviously when he's 10-10ing, he's going to be idling his town center a little bit.
So you want
And
to not do that and have as much food as
yeah,
possible.
any small amount of food. I mean, even like a 30 food treasure, some people will argue over the merits of taking like a 30 food treasure versus continuing to scout in the early game and looking for a better treasure, like looking for, like on Great Plains is a good example, right? You're guaranteed those 2 little treasures in your base, like maybe 30 coin from beaver pelts and the 1 coyote gathering maybe 30 food or something like that. A lot of people will opt not to gather that in churn searching instead for like 140 food or 95 wood or something like that. And
Yeah.
so maybe he was doing something like that, but when he's 10,
I mean, he did find a settler, didn't he? Which was pretty good as a treasure.
It's
That's
good.
like... And I believe Mitoe picking up a 90 food treasure, followed by a 90 food treasure. He's got all the food to age and is indeed doing so right now.
Yeah, that's gonna be a really quick age up. He's aging with 16 pop, which is like I guess 1 slower than normal.
So is that a full 25 seconds quicker? Or actually, no, he's doing XP dance, not fertility.
Yeah. So yeah, he's gonna be up. He's going to be up pretty quick, and I mean he's doing normal Aztec stuff. Aztec is good on this map, and it's going to be interesting. It's going to be curious to see. We might have a little bit of a battle here for map control. We see forward villagers for blue, and I have to assume that we're going to see some sort of forward play here from Mitoe as well at this very early age up.
Yeah, does Mitoe, I've been criticized for calling him what I do, but does he now have the potential to be more aggressive this game because of the earlier age up due to the 2 food crates? I mean, now he's just arriving. They were sieging down the barracks for a moment there. He's now got here and realized, actually, I perhaps better not put my racks my war hut quite so close.
I think ideally he would have had his war hut basically right where Aizamk's buildings are right now. It does 2 things. One, it secures the choke point better, controls the water in case there ever gets to be 2 caravel shenanigans or something.
Any funny business.
Yeah, any funny business. And it also helps secure the TP line. Anytime you have, buildings behind your defensive structure, it's going to be beneficial to you. Unfortunately, now the TP is a little bit more out in the open, a little more contestable. Which makes like his 3 Trebois card for TPs maybe a little less effective than he would like to have. But either way, still going to be able to secure good hunts and stuff like that with this war hut. And
700 wood is his first shipment there. What does this tell us? I mean, also that Explorer going for 2 stray dogs, which are in itself okay. I mean, but I think more so he's going for that treasure there for the XP. What does the 700 wood tell us?
700 wood doesn't really tell you anything. I think 700 wood is going to be essentially what Aztec will ship first almost every time they fast age. When you fast age like this, what you really do is you don't give yourself enough time to gather those resources.
Wow, there's a lot of crossbow there.
Yeah,
that's like 2 batches from his racks, plus 8 as a shipment.
Yeah.
That's like the speed of hitting up super quick from a 10-10 and using like 700 food as your first shipment, followed up by the 8 crossbows at the forward town center. Now, is he actually going to overpower the Aztec guy here just from the sheer... Yeah. 9 Mace Holton, or 10 Mace Holton just popping out there. Very efficient shipment.
Imagine if that would have been 5 Coyote Runners. Game might have just ended. Either way, it looks like we're just going to have a big skirmish here. Obviously, the War Hut is doing a lot of damage to these ranged units as well. And plus, just the efficiency, as you mentioned, of the Mace in general being really good for him. I don't think that Mitoe's in any danger of losing his War Hut here. Have to assume that something like...
he's got to be worrying at this point. Like, he's now focusing the pikes. He doesn't really want to do that. The crossbow... Oh, Coyote's popping out. That's really not too good for him. But Pikemen coming out just in time, really, to meet these. And, of course, they're going to force the Coyotes off. And they're not as actually... It's not going to be as devastating as we first thought when they arrived there. But a 9 Mace Holton shipment as well. 2 caravels. What a...
It's getting bloody here in the middle of the map.
Yeah,
that's for certain. Unfortunately, I don't know that those caravels are going to be super relevant, just because now that the pressure's been held, perhaps
They
he
could
can
take down the blockhouse.
Yeah,
The war
they
hut.
could get the war hut. Yeah, I think they're actually going to get the war hut. Wow,
Yeah.
that could
They're
be.
both like that one. There's got enough. Is close enough to have enough range. Unfortunately, the other one isn't able to. But it was so much damage from the pikemen that actually following it up with these, which have very high siege damage, um, is really good. Like
Yeah,
and the thing is though they're static. They can't move outside of that pond, and like yeah, they're not really overly useful there.
yeah. Maybe more importantly, he's going to stifle the unit production here for Mitoe for quite some time. There's really not enough wood in Mitoe's bank to immediately rebuild that, so he's going to have to transition a lot of villagers off of food and fix his economy and get his structure reestablished. And while that happens, buys Aizamk some time to refill his army that he had lost previously. So Mitoe is going to get his war hut back down in a decent position. Is continuing to kill some units here on the front side of the Ace's base as well. But at the same time, at least he got the war hut for it. Had the war hut not fell, I'm going to get a villager here too. That's always nice. Maybe even a
Nice
second
pickup.
one.
Yeah, currently Aztec quite far ahead in terms of it, like 4 villages up on ports, which is by no means a huge amount, but it's something. I mean, actually he sent a 3 and 5 vil shipment. So actually he's not that far ahead considering he's invested, well, 2 of his shipments into making villages, and he's only representing this point in time 2 more villages than A's.
Yeah. This is going to be the point where it's going to be pretty important for Mitoe to make correct strategical choices. If he doesn't do so and like Ports gets in an age up or something like that, and like he's not able to punish him, he's got to play very precise with his neck. He's in a dangerous spot here, right, where he's kind of like sandwiched with his war hut in between the caravels, which kind of cut him off from home, and the military and just town center and stuff that are in the middle of the map as well. So
Yeah.
he has to be very precise with how he plays with his military units and where he sends them and how they move around the map, because there's not a lot of room for error.
It's not a lot of not a lot of units here for Aizamk. Like those Mace Holton sort of causing him a few problems. It's not too bad. I mean, there's a town center there.
Yeah, fortunately the town center is just going to.
It does a lot of damage.
It's going to secure a lot of space for him. Villager went on a little bit of a raiding party there to the war hut. I'd like to see the coyotes get out on the map and try and cause some disruption in the backside of Aizamk's base. There is a stable now for A's and 700 coin being sent as well, which is going to translate into some Hussar, maybe even a musket Hussar switch from this early crossbow pressure. And,
crossbow. 700 coin down. Let's say you're going to add in some cav with that maybe, or is he considering going up? No, he just doesn't have the food for that.
But the resources for sure.
No, he's got like a decent but I think he's held reasonably well. He's got this town center up. I think he's going to be okay. He should be able to defend that Rax. I mean, there's Minutemen still in that TC, right?
Yeah.
That he can send, and he's got a similar economy as Ports. 2 town centers. He can continue to construct a better economy, and he's got decent map. Lots of hunts in the back there.
Yeah. One thing that Mitoe really needs is there needs to be some Puma coming here very soon. Now that we have the stable established with 700 coin sent.
That Rax, is it going to go down?
I think it should to the Coyotes.
He stopped sieging it though. I think
it's so low.
he can easily take it out. I mean, is there obviously it takes quite a long time for a batch of units to come out. But here he's committed to the fight, and I think because of the Minutemen plus the town center fire, and he should be completely fine here, Blue. Is there enough? Actually. No, I'm not right.
I think it's going to be about even. I don't think there's going to be enough units left over to continue this siege. Aizamk did also get the repair in on his barracks while it was off cooldown. Here come the 6 Puma. The 6 Puma coming after the 3 Warrior Priests. I have to wonder whether or not it was a little bit of a mistake to switch around the 3 Warrior Priests and the 6 Puma. He is going to have probably the pressure enough to get the barracks down, but I don't suspect he'll have enough presence to continue the siege onto the town center after that.
No, I think as I pointed out, A's has got a good economy at this point in the game. He's not being flattened.
Yeah, 35 goals.
Yeah, and you've still got Hunt, and against an opponent like Aztec, which can age so quickly and is just so like it's good. I think he's in a reasonable spot to at this point in time, and it makes me think actually this really fast age seems better than it should be at securing this position in the game.
Yeah, and I mean, if we take just from a balance perspective, which side had the better map spawn, I think no one would disagree that Aizamk's map spawn
Yes.
was significantly better. I mean, just look at where Mitoe's gathering Hunt from.
There's nothing here.
Yeah, Mitoe's map spawn wasn't that good. But either way, yeah, I don't know. Like this structure and this style that he plays with, like, just kind of securing these chokes and securing the map with this structure, it is really good. I mean, it's using Portuguese to their advantage. It's making use of that extra town center in a very like aggressively defensive map securing way, which is obviously good. But I'm still concerned. I don't know if he's going to be able to continue. Yeah, like he's lost his Rex. I don't know that he really has enough units to push out here. Certainly, the advantage of having Cav is not so good when you have all these trees that you have to navigate around. Obviously, the ranged units are significantly better when fighting in the trees, so there's like little awkward things like that as well that have to be considered at this point in the game.
Yeah, and Mitoe saying up yet, question mark. I think he suspects Aizamk to be aging, is that... But he's not. He's genuinely...
Not. Yeah.
Perhaps that, the lack of units coming out here from Aiz, and it just feels like the Aztec player has a greater presence, just has more military. Perhaps he, does seem... Oh, what the... Okay. Colonial Militia, extra Minutemen. This is... Like, when you don't expect it coming and it catches you, this is really strong. Though, is it worth the shipment? If it holds, then again, element of surprise. Aizamk very good at that. And here, it definitely were holding the town center, forcing Mitoe off, and actually creating himself, like, I don't know, I think he came out on top there, military-wise. Unfortunately, these Minutemen are losing hit points quickly, unless he can actually finish the Aztec player's army here. And I don't think he can. Like, really, those Mace Halton should be able to escape now that the cavalry have gone.
They're probably best
and these
off
Minutemen will just flop over.
Yeah, killing the Minutemen. Lost quite a few villagers there. The thing that still continues to concern me is there's not really anywhere for Mitoe to gather Hunt at this point. He's exhausted all the Hunt on the left-hand side, forced to chop trees over there. The only Hunt that still remains for him is this Hunt that's up in the middle portion of the map. And...
he does have some berries, but they won't last forever.
Yeah, I don't know. It's...
I think he held the pressure quite well, though, Aizamk, on that. But was it worth a card? And was it worth 800 resources? Because the Minutemen are gone now.
He's up 11 vills as a result of that now. I mean,
wow.
I think you have to... And plus, he saved the TC.
Yeah.
He killed Mitoe's whole army, which was sieging down, causing him a lot of headache. He still has okay structure. I mean, he's got his stable still in the back of his base, which is going to be safe. He needs to reestablish his racks at some point. I would say with this 200 wood that he has now, that would probably be a pretty good spend. And there it goes down, reading my mind, building the barracks. And I think if he can reestablish some sort of must-cuss play and just keep this town center up, the important thing is to not allow the Aztec player to like get TPs or get on water or do some sort of like extra economy. And as long as he can continue to secure the middle portion of the map, I think he should be able to do that.
Yeah, he's looking good.
But still not out of the woods. It's really hard to call at this point. Aztec just kind of seems like he's in a position where he's not, like, he's even made a farm. Like, his economy just doesn't seem that good.
Yeah,
I'm curious as to whether or not he's got schooners in his deck. He does actually have schooners and exotic hardwoods. I really would like to see him go on water. This is a situation where at this point in the game where you're low on Hunt and you're forced to gather wood anyways, that I think there's complete validity in going on water at this point. But
yeah,
it looks like no schooners has been sent just yet. Nope, he has actually sent schooners just now. So
yeah,
So maybe going to be looking at some sort of water play. It does have a dot coming up now down in the south side of the map. And maybe a little late. I don't know. It's really hard to say. I guess The rest of his cards, if you take a look at what he sent, 5 Bill, 3 Warrior Priest, 6 Puma, and then just military shipments. You can't really argue with any of that either. So I guess it's just going to be whether or not this game extends long enough and whether or not he can continue to survive and hold out in the middle of the map to get a decent dock economy established. That's going to kind of decide this game. If he can do so and if he can reestablish on water, it looks like both players are actually going to fight on water a little bit.
Yeah, what happened to those 2 caravels, by the way?
They actually ended up dying to that war hut that got built by my... Yeah, a little sloppy. That happened several minutes ago now.
Yeah. They haven't been there for a while. It just seems like he's fighting without one less shipment. He's got a big army now, the Aztec guy again.
His army is surprisingly large.
He just keeps popping back.
Yeah, no colonial militia available at this town center. It is still doing quite a bit of damage, but it's it's not going to have that big pop of Minutemen. And a lot of cav.
If he can deal with those Pumas, and he might be okay. His Puma's very efficient at killing cavalry. Yeah, you can see him getting back there. He's a little bit concerned, I think.
Yeah, I'm a little
doesn't want to
concerned
take that.
as well. Yeah, he doesn't really. That's a lot of cav.
Yeah, and at this point, Aizamk starting to take a small score lead, and I think that is as a direct result of his 10 Vil economy over the, in addition to, leading.
Yeah. I mean,
you know what I'm saying.
He's in the lead at this point. The pretty good fight here, going to be able to clean up the Pumas, and with all the Pumas dead, Mitoe's economy really not established on water. I mean, he's got 1 fishing boat. It's not like he's getting any efficiency there. I think we're going to see a GG here pretty quick.
Yeah,
I don't know that there's any way for him to claw his way back in. He does still have the 1 war hut back in his base to fall back on, which is nice, but I don't know if it's going to explicitly be enough to get him back in the game. He's got to get a lot more fishing boats out if he wants to be able to compete.
It's just the longer the game goes on, the more it shifts towards Portuguese players' favour because of extra town centres.
Yeah.
And he has enough hunt just to keep going, whereas...
Well, he's got the map control too, right? He's
got switching to fishing is just, you don't really want to do it, but you have to.
He has to at this point. Mitoe's economy is basically at this point completely wood-based. I mean, he's got the 1 mill, but aside from that, he really needs to get out a large number of fishing ships. Likely is on fertility dance right now with all those warrior priests and those villagers, which is going to make his population of fishing boats go up very quickly. I mean, if you just take and hover over the docks for a little bit, there are so many fishing boats popping out.
From only 2 docks, they must be, whoa.
So he is training fishing boats. They're streaming out. There are a lot of fishing boats coming out of these docks. And I don't think Aizamk has scouted it just yet. Only has the 1 dock for himself. Only has the 3 fishing boats, and so there's a chance that big raid though on the top side of the map. There's a chance though that should he be able to stabilize on water, that maybe he could get back into this game.
Yeah, Aizamk obviously got going for fishing ships as well now. They're just starting to. The first 2 have just been created. Has identified that he can also do that at this point in the game. That's a very nice way to bolster your economy without. At this point, a shipment doesn't really mean quite as much as it did in the early game, so really, schooners.
You have a lot more flexibility at this point. And getting out some Puma, I mean, his villager count has stabilized due to this huge number of fishing ships.
That's a lot of there's a lot of fishing ships. There's also quite a lot of wood, though they are discounted quite heavily due to schooners, so it's not quite as bad as it looks. But is it relevant, the amount of gather time sort of being wasted on fertility? I mean, obviously they're warrior priests, so it's not really quite as bad as villagers dancing, but they could indeed be gathering something else. Though I suppose XP again isn't quite as worthwhile at this point in the game, so fertility dance definitely shifts from XP being better to fertility being better as later the game goes. Definitely not out of this yet. It's very interesting. That as a civilization, having a fire pit, I feel as if Aztec make use of it more than any other civilization does, largely because of warrior priests. But it adds an interesting late game dynamic to Aztec. They can compete, even with Portuguese having two town centers. It seems like a European civ in this sort of position against the Portuguese player wouldn't be able to do that.
The one thing that I'm a little concerned about is both players are fishing quite heavily now, and there are not, at the end of the day, a lot of fish in New England. They're going to run out at some point, especially with just the sheer number of fishing boats we have out. And at that point, like Mitoe's economy is completely sunk into this fish economy now, and he's going to get stonewalled at some point where he's just not going to be able to continue creating resources because he's got so much of it sunk into this fish, especially with Aizamk, his opponent, fishing out the right-hand side or the top right-hand side of the map at the same time. So
this fight.
Yeah, big fight going on here in the middle. A lot of the Hussar did die.
Yeah, the Puma's also down now as well. So if a batch of 5 Huss were to pop out, I mean, obviously they have to walk quite a long way from the stable, but not too bad. The Coyotes are here. They're making short work of the crossbows. I think this favors Aztec a bit here.
Yeah, the thing is, at the end of the day, he's still going to be stuck with the awkward situation where he's got to somehow get his way through all this structure. I mean, there's an outpost up now. There's the town center. And he's going to be forced to fight back through this choke. And the clock is ticking. Like, the fish are only going to last so long. He's only got this military advantage for so long. Certainly, if Aizamk can get into the third age, he's going to find himself with another big round of shipments that he can send, Mamelukes, stuff like that are going to be nigh untouchable for Aztec. So the clock is ticking. Like, Aztec has to probably win the game in the next 3 to 5 minutes, probably 3 minutes.
Yeah, you sure? I think he might have a bit slightly long. Like, I'm thinking like 7 minutes. I don't know how long those fish will last. I suppose not long, really. If you look at them, they're 500 food a patch, and that's like almost comparable to a deer herd. Like each one of those is 400. There's only like 2-3 herds of fish of equivalent in the water.
They're running out quick, and at the same time, Aizamk still has a little bit of hunt left. He still has like these TPs in
some canoes coming out. Some weird sort of fight over the water control here. Yeah. Canoes obviously very efficient at dealing with, for some reason, massive warships. Not that caravels are particularly big, but canoes seem very small and they're actually quite cheap.
Yeah. The good thing about canoes, right, is like you said, they're a little bit more incremental. They're good for the same reason Strelae are good, just due to the fact that the overkill factor on like caravels. If you take a look at caravels range damage is 75, and when they do the broadside attack, there's going to be massive overkill versus a canoe that shoots an incremental arrow that is a lot.
In this fight on the land, the Puma's going in, and it looks like they might take down all of the cav. No, he's got enough muscle. But go ahead on the water.
It's going to be tough. Even so, like even just the presence of the caravels and forcing him to sink more resources into fighting over the water that he already kind of lacks is
idling all of Aze's fishing ships. They're doing nothing at the moment.
Yeah, aside from the couple gathering from that whale, but yeah, I mean, there's not any fish left, right? He's at this point. There's nothing left on the water, and that's why I gave him 3 minutes to win the game, and I don't think he can win from here. I think Aizamk was too far ahead.
You're right. That was not much time.
Yeah,
those fish do not last long.
Yeah, with that many fishing boats, the amount of time is very small. And at this point, I mean, Mitoe's still trying to fight for the water. You can see he's got so many canoes coming out. There's no point in fighting for the water. What is he fighting over? He's fighting over empty space at this point.
And an island. Maybe he can. Yeah, speaking of the island, 2 villagers popping down an outpost on it.
Yeah.
I guess that's quite an efficient way to hold, your side of the map. There are some whales there worth fighting over, but ultimately I think Mitoe, investing quite a lot unnecessarily into that. Yeah. And I mean, the fire pit spamming fishing ships with schooners definitely, has given him a way to keep going. Like, but it doesn't last forever, as you noticed here. The Portuguese with actual villagers is just gonna.
It's 98 vills versus 92 right now in a 25-minute colonial game, and I think we're very quickly approaching the point where Portuguese has enough stuff where he's going to be able to actually break the stalemate in the middle of the map and just kind of push Mitoe over and end it. The economy is just non-existent. There are so many fishing ships on this map, though.
as I mentioned earlier, the longer the game goes on, the more it does shift into the favour of the Portuguese player. Interestingly enough, though, which player is on the bottom there? Yes, Blue. He's now sending the upgrade for warships.
Does he have improved warships in his deck?
Improved warships? No, that's Carinade. That's the research at the dock, sorry.
Oh, okay.
They got similar pictures, actually.
Yeah, they do, actually. In fact, it's actually the exact same. It is literally the exact same picture.
So that's where I got that from then. Yeah, worth getting the upgrades, but at this point, like, if it was a shipment, it doesn't seem worthwhile. I mean, as we pointed out, what are they fighting over?
Yeah, you're fighting over 4 packs of whales, essentially.
some belugas, yeah.
Yeah. But
Nikis, actually.
Yeah, I think this is over. Aizamk has won the land battle. There's just not enough land economy for Mitoe. We can see he's just struggling to get any sort of food income. He's only got these 2 farms remaining, 3 farms now by the looks of it, but age 2 farms obviously not something that you can sustain with in the long term. And I think this battle might go in favor of Mitoe, but even so, Aizamk's got TPs. He's got
100-point score lead.
Yeah, coin mines. What's going on here on the water? Like, there's like a couple ninja fishing ships over here on the right-hand side. It looks like Aizamk has even managed to secure the rest of the whales.
The last patch of cod. This is why cod is endangered, ladies and gentlemen.
Because the Aztec are fighting the Portuguese
the Aztec are fishing
off the coast of New York. Yeah.
There you go.
That's precisely why the cod are in danger. But yeah, this game's over. There's too much in Mitoe's space. Losing villagers, losing warrior priests, and
he's on top of his economy now. Like, he just pushes in a little bit more. He's sitting on top of the mills, and then the villagers have to go in the TC, and that is
and that's when the units stop coming, right? Like, anytime you have to garrison fills. And there's the GG!
Well played. I think that sending colonial militia up until they arrived, I felt as if Mitoe really, had the advantage.
Yeah, he overcommitted into the colonial militia, and even me, like, being able to see the resource levels and what they were at, I almost made the comment of, like, he's got a lot of unspent resources. Why is he not making Hussar, at that point? And then he popped the colonial militia. It was just a really good timing thing.
Yeah, it's something you don't expect a lot of the time as well. That element of surprise factor. You can get caught by it in the same way you normally get caught by regular Minutemen.
Yeah.
And that's really strong, as it turns out.
Certainly was. All right, so that's going to be the end of this series.
That's 4-1 to Aizamk, I believe.
That is a 4-1 to Aizamk, indeed. So, well played by him. I am going to give away one more key, as I mentioned. It'll be an AOE 2 key. And did you want to do the rest of your podcast on your stream?
Yeah,
or what did you
if you've got time, I'd love to finish the podcast, or we'll get as much as we can done. I don't know what you've got planned for today, but
I've got lots of time today.